So, hi everyone. My name is Jeff Bazan from CannaMundo. Um, Let me just let everybody in. I think we've got Mario on the call from CannaMundo as well. My brother Oscar from CannaMundo. Sebastian from CannaMundo, and I think we have a lot of folks on here from different parts of the world. So thank you for joining us from Chile to Australia to Peru to California to Hablo Español. So I need you guys to speak English kind of slowly, Lance.
No, talk to Billy about that.
All right. Well, we got Billy there, right? So
He can talk Spanish.
yeah, so we'll do.
Good.
You guys introduce yourselves. This is San Benito Hemp Campus, beautiful facility. They're doing great work there. They've got a new process, an absolute process, and they're in their laboratory right now. So I'll let them take over. Lance, Skip, Matthew, Billy, correct?
It's us.
No,
We're actually in our office right now, but we'll take you to the lab in a minute. It's just really, really loud in there.
Sure. So why don't we start with just an introduction of San Benito, and everybody on this call is involved in sales. This is a sales network. The individuals on this call want to, get as much information from San Benito through CannaMundo. They're part of our sales network. And so we're looking to take the San Benito product as far as we can. And we had already talked about different countries, including Chile, Peru, Australia, Asia. So that's what this call is about. Everything.
Jeff, are you hiding out from the government right now?
Am I what?
Is that why your face is dark?
What do you say?
Oh, it looks like you look blacked out, like you have something covering your face, like you're QAnon.
Oh yes, I'm in South America. This is not a background. That's the Caribbean.
Oh.
It's more important than seeing my face. I mean, I'm a silhouette.
The view is better. Yeah.
But all right, so go right ahead, guys. I'll let you introduce yourselves and start off.
Run down.
Yeah. So my name's Billy Morrison. Soy chileno, and
Hola, Bill.
and I'm the person who has worked in the cannabis industry the longest, almost 20 years now. I'm a JD MBA, so I'm a lawyer and an MBA. I got into the cannabis world through the THC side of things. 2013, I sold my company to Aurora Cannabis in Montreal. Today, that's their Point Claire facility. I declined an offer to work for them. I joined the board of two other companies in the U.S., Nutritional High, where I'm the CTO, and Harborside. I'm no longer at Harborside, but I'm still at Nutritional High. And over the years, I've done a lot of work on writing white papers on extraction technology for investment banks. So essentially, I was the person responsible for taking the technologies and describing how they work in a very digestible way so that CEOs can make decisions on what technology their company was going to go with. And right around the time that I was working for this bank called Canaccord, I found a new technology, a new way to make cannabinoids that was in line with all the academic research. So Dr. Ethan Russo of GW Pharmaceutical wrote the original papers on the entourage effect. The entourage effect basically describes cannabinoids as being effective or ineffective depending on how closely one could produce the profile that was most similar to the living plant. So if the chemical profile was really close to the way the plant had the chemical profile when it was alive, then generally speaking, the efficacy in humans and animals is very high. When you isolate and distill, you have very low efficacy. And this is a phenomenon that we already knew in the THC world. It's very easy to measure how intoxicated someone gets when they smoke weed. So we made extracts and we made edibles. And when we made edibles with Absolute, the onset time was 20 minutes, and the effect was much stronger than what we expected. So in the industry, 20 milligrams of THC is considered a strong dose for an average consumer. But that's the legal limit. When we used absolutes, the 20 milligrams was much too strong. People were over intoxicated, and so we realized, and this is almost 10 years ago, that the absolutes produced far superior THC. So the quest was,
And if I could back Billy up just real quick, Monica just recently said your product is her favorite to work with.
Okay. There's a reason. There's a reason. That's the reason why the whole industry was looking at like solvent-free extraction because it has a marketing benefit. But CO2 extraction was too much pressure, and it changed the pH of the molecule too much. And what you ended up with was really low efficacy, even though you had a very targeted extraction methodology. I didn't like it because it wasn't scalable, it was slow, and it was the equivalent of installing a cassette player in your new car. So I was looking for a similar technology that works similar to CO2, but with low pressure. And so what I ended up settling on was TFE. And TFE is the industry standard for making perfumes. It's highly selective extraction methodology, and it works like CO2, except it works at extremely low pressure and really low temperature. So I make minimal degradation. So when I'm done making the oil, it takes me 2 hours, but when I'm done making the oil, it has the chemical profile of the plant that we put into the machine.
Let me stop you 1 second there. For the purpose of some folks in Spanish, give them a quick little overview. Entonces, lo que está hablando rápidamente es el proceso de extractar el aceite cuando está utilizando la fórmula TFE, que es una fórmula que han utilizado en la industria de perfumes, cuando estaban agarrando 20 miligramos básicamente de la otra sistema, y cuando agarran 20 miligramos del sistema Absolute, o sea, era mucho más poderoso, mucho más potente el sistema de Absolute. Y de eso es lo que está hablando en este momento Billy. Esta conferencia va a estar grabada y lo que vamos a hacer después de la conferencia es traducir lo más posible para que todos los que no hablan inglés entiendan lo que está hablando Billy en este momento. Solo quería decir eso, ¿vale?
También tengo un papel que escribí para el gobierno de Chile que explica todo en español. Entonces, si queremos, lo podemos mandar a todo y así pueden leer lo que estoy hablando en un papel, y tengo fotos.
Perfecto. Okay, so back to English. Back to the scheduled program.
So what I did was I contacted the manufacturer of the equipment. There's 2 manufacturers in the world. The Farm Bill in the United States passed, so it made hemp legal, cáñamo. And what we did was we convinced these companies to make larger scale machines for hemp. And so around the time that it became possible to do it, I met the group that I'm sitting with right now, and they were on a mission to produce hemp in the best climate possible, in the best soil possible, and they wanted to know what the best extraction technique was. And so I explained it to them, and 2 years later, we're sitting here right now with the system working. And so right now we have agriculture across the street, and we have extraction and processing here in our building. And it's the most advanced hemp extraction in the world. It's more advanced than what's being used in THC. This is technology that if you were to talk to somebody in the THC world, very few people know what we're talking about. This is bleeding edge. But unlike most things that are bleeding edge, this is actually more efficient and is faster by 10x versus the old method. So with CO2 and ethanol, it would take me 3 days to make a product that I could sell to a consumer, and it had very low efficacy. With this process, it takes me 2 to 3 hours to produce the same products with very high efficacy. So I have a manufacturing advantage in addition to a technological and medical advantage. So what we're trying, what our products that you're trying, the reason they work so well is because they're unadulterated, because we took all the steps necessary to make the CBD combined with the odor and the flavor and the other minor compounds that are accompanied with it in nature. So our stuff is very similar to what you would find in nature.
Garrett.
Sorry, in terms of the product, how does this particular oil vaporize compared to an isolate or a distillate and the other products? In other words, are you seeing that same potent?
Oh, well, I designed this originally to be a vape product. It just so happened that the oil was so good, and we knew that because when you try a vape product, normally the way it's made, you don't feel anything. You don't feel any relief. It doesn't do anything to you. And so with the THC, we noticed the same thing. When you vape it, it's way more potent, and it had an instant effect. When you try it with CBD, same exact thing. But with CBD, most people take it for pain relief. And in some cases, you would vaporize it if you were having seizures, for example, and you needed instant relief, you would vaporize it to get that effect. And this is way, way, way higher.
Billy, can I throw a little extra backup for you there too?
Sure.
One thing is, the world's going to discover that vaporizing anything is still, there's going to be a lot of issues coming down the pipe. Bringing anything into your lungs, you're poking holes into a healthy organ. What you guys have with 20-minute onset is extraordinary, and that's as fast as the body can really take something in anyway. And so Jeff, with what they've got, you don't have to go and harm your lungs. You can just consume what they've got and get what you need, and that's impressive.
Yeah. So a key selling point would be that. Están diciendo que una de las cosas impactantes que por la razón de vaporizar, que tiene efectos normalmente negativos, cuando usas el Absolute, tienes que vaporizar mucho menos para llegar al mismo efecto. Entonces, si estás vaporizando menos para llegar al mismo efecto, no estás obviamente dañándote tanto como normalmente tuvieras que vaporizar para llegar a ese mismo efecto. Got it.
And you might want to say that we can also introduce this into a water soluble, and we can make it into a nebulizer, like asthma medication. And so
Yeah,
you wouldn't.
good luck with me translating that one. I'm still born in the U.S., Billy.
I know, me too. Well, I don't know how to say that either.
Maybe
So.
Oscar can do that. What was that one again? Repeat it. Well,
So we can turn the absolutes, we can turn them into a water soluble, and that allows us to make a nebulizer. So the way that people take asthma medication, a very cold vapor,
got it.
That's into the lung, that doesn't damage the lung. That's how we can do it.
Does anybody want to translate that to Spanish?
Sure, I'll give it a rip. Lo que está diciendo es, el producto también tiene la habilidad, y no sé si ustedes han visto lo que las personas que tienen asma usan, que es algo que es frío, es un vapor frío, y lo usan así para tener alivio inmediato. El producto también puede usarse así, de ese método.
Exacto.
Okay. Very cool. Got it.
And Nate, hopefully we have some of that powder that we're starting to experiment from Monica next week, correct?
Got it. Okay. And so what other products have you seen? What other areas have you seen, whether it's through pets, whether it's through edibles, whether it's through skin, that you've seen that this process has really, improved the product?
So if you were to try and make a sunscreen or a burn relief cream, that would be extremely effective with this high efficacy oil. versus using an isolate. If you were, say you got a sunburn and we formulated something that you would use after even like a fire type of a more severe burn, you could get topical pain relief from cannabinoids with really good efficacy. When you use an isolate, it almost doesn't work.
So even though they're promoting that it does work, studies have shown that with the isolate, it's really not as effective.
How about though with like eczema, acne?
Yeah, so there's some things that are new. There are compounds in the live plant like CBG that are sterile compounds. Viruses and bacteria don't grow on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so those compounds, sometimes when you formulate with them, when you have an oil that has that compound in it, you can make a cream that will get rid of acne or skin conditions. It has and this is something that has not been studied in great detail.
But there are people with those products out there, and they are working.
And they
that's
work.
what's great about it. It's real. Yeah.
Our product has been working for those people as well.
I didn't know you had that product. Our meeting keeps getting longer, man.
We've
Friday.
got some nano topicals that we're working on right now for both pain relief and then also lotion.
Love it. I'm excited to be up there with you guys, Monica.
And talk to us a little bit about the pets, the mascotas. What's specifically, is this particularly the product for pets? Is it the edible? How is it that they take it in?
So, the one of the things that it does for pets, because pets can't tell you when they're hurt. Pets, when they get, they have a lot of pain in their joints, dogs especially, and cats. And then the other area where this really is helpful is horses. Horses, when they have joint problems, it's usually a death sentence for the horse. And so we've noticed that when you feed animals CBD in much lower doses than humans, it has a very powerful anti-inflammation effect in animals. And so with your pet, you're going to reduce its inflammation. And so that's, its joints, the backs, the hip of your dog, for example. Those are all areas that animals suffer from, and especially horses. And so this is going to be really effective. In the US, it's the most popular use for CBD. People, there's no really good anti-cancer drug that works on animals. But CBD in high dose concentrations behaves like an immunotherapy drug. And there's lots of studies that are pointing towards that. It has to do with the checkpoint protein related to certain types of cancer. And if you guys want, I can find those articles and send them to you as well. But that's what people use it for. There isn't a veterinary prescription regimen in the United States yet for this. It is unstudied, but people already know just from buying it and giving it to their animals that it works.
Wait, what was the name of the drug?
So in higher concentrations, CBD behaves like an immunotherapy drug. So
I heard the immunotherapy, but then you said one specific that I didn't recognize. That's just.
I was talking last time about Keytruda.
Keytruda. Thank you.
And so let me ask you then, I'll just translate really quick on a statement you said before. Lo que dijo anteriormente también es que el proceso del Absolute es mucho más rápido que los otros procesos, ¿no? de que estabas hablando. And you had mentioned that what's the difference? 3 days to 3 hours, or what was that number?
Yeah,
right.
Instead of 3 days, it takes 3 hours.
Sí. En realidad, entonces, imagínate el costo, que el costo simplemente para la extracción y para el proceso, si se está demorando simplemente 3 horas en comparación con lo tradicional que se demora unos par de días, entonces el costo está bajando dramáticamente, pero no significa que estamos sacando un producto menor, no, al opuesto, es un producto de mejor calidad, a menos precio, y no queremos bajar el precio del producto porque queremos mantenerlo con un valor de premium producto, ¿no? Porque si entonces hay esa ventaja y hay esos márgenes que podemos definitivamente ganar todos. Ahora, one question would be the process that you just explained. Does that clear across, throughout all the products in terms of speed, meaning the pet products, the lotion products, the topical products, the tinctures. It clearly saves time in production run.
Yes, on every single other formula.
You got it. Okay.
We got it.
So cool. So, I don't know if you guys had that ability to show a little bit or well.
Formulation can be extremely costly too. So, I mean, if you're saving on every process.
Sure. Why don't we just talk a little bit about the current inventory that you currently have, and maybe what we can anticipate in this coming month of April or May, so that we can, kind of get an idea of what you have, and then what can be available if, in fact, all the folks here were to, get a buyer or a purchase order for anything that is a sizable amount, white label, private label, or even reselling your current San Benito brand.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have right now 10,000 units of the oil bottles, which is the dropper, the tincture bottles in the lab right now. We'll show you here in a minute. Next week, we've got 10,000 bottles of soft gels. Both bottles are 1,500 milligram. And in the soft gels, there's 30 capsules, 50 milligram each. So 1,500 milligram. So we'll have 10,000 of each package next week. And then we're working currently on a pet dropper. So we'll probably have within 35 to 45 days, we'll have 10,000 units of that as well. And then we have 2 different topicals we're working on right now. The formulation is done, and we're just getting product made to send down to have it co-packed for us. And we'll have 10,000 bottles of topical lotion, body lotion, which is we made a universal lotion. It could work on your face, could work for after sun. It's the same ingredients that work for all your skin. On your face is the same skin, right, Billy? And it's all over your body. So we're trying to keep away from this gimmick of like, you need this lotion for this. We'll make a universal that will work everywhere, right, on your body. And then we also have a pain relief topical. Both of these, the topicals will be 3,000 milligram of nano. And with the nano, the absorption rate is much higher, especially with the absolute. So it's a far superior product. So within 35 to 45 days, we'll have the 2 topical products that I mentioned and the pet.
Got it. Okay, and what if, I'll say it in Spanish first, si alguien tiene un orden o tiene un comprador y le estamos dando una factura o tiempo de entrega, ¿cuál sería el tiempo de entrega del punto donde se hace el orden? So what I asked was if they would get a client and say they did a 10,000 to 50,000 unit order, and it were to be white labeled or specific, what would the turnaround time be for your facility?
So that would depend on the size. I mean, if it's 10,000 units, we could probably get it done in about 35 days. If they want 50,000 units, we're probably talking closer to like 45 to 60 days.
Okay.
So we'd have to take it on a case-by-case basis. No matter what it is, we can make it happen. We would just have to set the time parameters accordingly. But white label, I mean, we can do white label, we can do our label, whatever the client wants.
Okay. Well, very cool. So I don't know if there's anybody that has other questions online. Si alguien tiene algún tipo de pregunta que we can translate.
Sí, a Bill cuando habló que habían hecho unos papers, Bill, tú hablaste que tú tienes incluso unos papers hechos respecto a la concentración. Cuando tú dices que se demora menos tiempo y la concentración del producto, en este caso, es la misma, entiendo, pero tú tienes un paper, ¿eso está aprobado, demostrado, y eso está registrado, certificado, o está en una etapa así interna nomás donde tiene estas conclusiones?
No, han pasado como 30 años de papeles que han escrito de este fenómeno. El Ethan Russo tiene como 50 papeles, y en Israel hay harto estudio de médico con los humanos. Entonces, phase 3 clinical trials. Hay información en Israel.
Lo importante, Bill, es saber desde el principio si está autorizado y se puede vender a público, y esa autorización hay que replicarla en todo el mundo. Eso es todo.
Sí.
Eso necesitamos por todo para poderlo hacer bien.
Cool. Ok. ¿Hay otra Pregunta? ¿Alguien? Somebody else has a question? Dicen ahí, Nick, sprechen Sie Deutsch? No tiene la pregunchichi. ¿Qué pasa ahí?
Exacto.
Ni hao, piukachichi de domsi? No Chinese? Okay, well, I threw it out there.
Quisiera añadir para Mario, también tenemos papeles aquí en Estados Unidos, no solo es Israel, y hay muchos papeles que no han compartido como deben en el mundo y podemos compartirlos a través de la próxima mes contigo.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
nosotros podemos, algunos papeles, hay algunos que ya están en castellano, entonces te los puedo mandar inmediatamente porque va a ser fácil. Hay algunos que lo tengo que cambiar, pero si quieres, lo podemos empezar ahora y te puedo mandar lo que quieres. Pero tenemos alta información ahora. Ya lo tengo.
Okay,
Bi-
gracias.
Billy, I'll work with you on that.
Yeah.
And let's just get coordinated for the whole team.
Let's make a Dropbox or something, and that way we give everyone access.
Yeah, we'll get Monica on there and we'll get the best ones out first and then we can work on the next ones.
Was that an Argentinian accent, Nate, that I heard?
That's an accent from Spain, from Mexico, from whatever. I just call it flat out like white boy Latina.
It was beautiful Spanish, and it was perfection. But all right.
Yeah. You should have got me down there.
Any other?
I'm out of practice.
No, you're doing great. Any other questions? Porque si no, nos va a llevar al laboratorio para enseñarnos. Si no hay más preguntas, I think we're good to go. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, why don't we take you over and show you the lab real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Hey, Matt, why don't you do this since I don't break your laptop? Go ahead. Are we okay? All right.
Like reality TV.
Out of my way, Skip. Beautiful sunny day here.
It's a beautiful day in California.
It is.
Hey Jeff, just as a heads up, I'm shooting ahead up there on Friday and spend the afternoon with these guys. So I'll get you a doc on the things we're going to be covering so you can see what we're up to.
Well, I can't walk too far down here because the internet will cut out. But
Don't worry.
How far do I go? Oh, does it go all the way now? Okay, cool.
Nice.
Cool. So this is our storage facility here.
This is the storage.
We've got about 100,000 pounds of biomass.
How much biomass?
Right here? It'll go right here? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is as far as it'll go without the internet cutting.
Got it.
You can see we just have boxes and boxes of product. We have our bucking and our decarb and all that in the back where the crew works. We got Billy with a branch here. Going to show us something.
Straight from the farm.
Yep.
It's a Christmas tree.
Yeah. This was all grown right here within 5 minutes of our facility.
Got it.
Todas las cajas que vienen allá están todo lleno de
Biomass.
Igual a esto.
Yep. Yeah.
And you said this machinery was originally from Bulgaria, wasn't it?
Well, it's Bulgarian, yes. So this is our.
Esta maquinaria originalmente en la industria de perfumes, de extracción. Entonces es un sistema que no usa la normalidad de combustible. Sino
These are all buckets of oil here.
Mm-hmm. Very clean.
So this is the absolute that comes out of the machine here.
I see.
And our absolute is ready to go just like this. This is what gets mixed into our final product. The only thing we put in with it is MCT oil. So there's no post-processing that we do. Just our raw absolute with MCT oil.
Beautiful. Gordon Ramsay would be very happy with your facility. It's very clean.
Very clean, yeah. Absolutely.
Estos son los sistemas de chromatography para hacer los exámenes de química en el cáñamo antes que lo ponemos en la máquina. Tengo que ver si el cáñamo tiene pesticides y si tiene otro químico contaminado. También tengo gas chromatography, que algo bien básico, más simple, que me da solamente el THC y el CBD y Esto me da una información es más complicada que el sistema, pero me da mucha más información. Este sistema es de Agilent y este es una marca SRI, que es un equipo que lo hacen en Estados Unidos. Pero esto es un buen sistema que se encuentra en cualquier laboratorio en el mundo. El Agilent es uno de los mejores sistemas para hacer chromatography.
Then over here we have, I'll show you guys the finished product that we have. So here's our whole lab here. See that? And then we have 2 pallets right now. We've got 10,000 units of these bottles right here. So these are our bottles.
Right.
Let me start it here so I can do it. This is our product.
Este es el tincture, son las botellas de aceite. El producto totalmente.
This is our bottle here.
Esa es la marca actual que tenemos para promover y tenemos 10,000 unidades ahorita en inventario, pero se puede hacer esta marca white label de cualquier marca que necesite. Limpiecito. Looks nice.
Yeah. That's what we've got. That's what we make.
Great.
So next week we have 10,000 bottles of the soft gels.
Right.
And again, these we can do any printing. We can do any white label for customers.
And if you can show a little bit of the disclosure that you have on that box, I mean, it's a lot more than I see on other products. Yeah, los ingredientes específicamente.
It's on our website as well. You can go to sanbenitohemp.com.
Yeah, que tú sabes que muchas veces you buy CBD and it's like they don't have none of this. It's like, what the hell is in this? So no, it's great.
We try, and even when you go and you look at our COAs on our website, you know, it's a 3-page COA. Test for heavy metals, test for, you know, everything, pesticides, everything is on there. So we have the most transparent CBD on the market. So.
Transparencia sobre todos los ingredientes. Puedes ir a la página web y ver todos los
We'll go back out
certificados.
here, guys. Get away from the noise.
Congratulations. When I was there, I guess, was it a month, 5 weeks ago, you were just getting ready and it looks amazing. Congrats on your labeling. You know, everything was on the laptop, I think, at that point. So
it's come a long way just in the last month and a half.
Yes, yes. I look forward to visiting again.
Yeah, you guys are all welcome anytime to come out. I know Nate, Oscar, most of you guys are.
Oscar, just while we're all here, I'd like to be up there Friday. I'll leave. I'm going to pick Monica up in Palm Springs and head up towards you guys Friday morning. So Oscar, I mean, that's
I'll
my plan with these guys.
with you, Nate.
Yeah.
You know, I have selfish reasons to see you besides all of this.
I got you covered, bro.
All right.
So that area that Billy was at before, in terms of getting product for the THC to CBD ratio, in terms of getting specific ratios that are being requested, that was the section basically that you perform that.
Yeah, it's where we have the gas and we basically have gas chromatography and liquid chromatography analytics at our disposal. But
Yeah,
we still have
pesticides has been a big issue, you know, in terms of identifying, right? So anything that's in terms of what's in the product itself. But so you guys use a specific system, a specific technology for that?
I use liquid chromatography from Agilent. So I basically that's the most accurate way, but we know there's really no pesticides in it because we know that we work with the farmers. What we really use it for is to optimize our extraction, because this method works on a computer program, and so it works on a curve. So in order to set the curve to get the optimality, it's sometimes necessary to do analysis on the end product before you get it to work consistently the same.
And then we do third-party testing for all our COAs for the finished product.
Yeah, even though we can do it ourselves, we send it to a third-party lab to validate what we do.
Yep.
Got it. So legally under regulations, you could do it yourself, but obviously
but
the conflict of interest in terms of
Yeah, no one wants to believe your own report. You have to have a third-party validation.
Do you guys have the capacity to isolate molecules when you want to too? I've never actually asked you that because I'm so fired up about full spectrum, but I do get requests.
No, because the way you make isolate is using pentane, hexane, carcinogenic compounds, and the other thing that's required to do that is certification for your building. So it has to be an explosion-proof building in California, and so we have no interest in doing that. And I didn't want to expose us to hexane, pentane.
Right.
I've been doing that for years, and I don't want to be exposed to it either myself.
Yeah. So Jeff,
The only
on
solvent
that
we have here
note,
is alcohol
we are
to clean
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
That's it.
we are
Yeah,
gonna be
like we have hand
talking-
sanitizer. That's our only solvent in the building.
Yeah. On that note, though, important for Jeff to understand is we will be talking genetics, and that's how we can modify what the product is as we go.
Got it. Okay. Well, great. That's awesome. And how much is your space? How big is your space for growth? How many acres do you guys have there?
This one building we're in is 27,000 square feet. We have 300,000 square feet of buildings here. We have 400 acres.
Wow, 400 acres. Acres. En el lado donde tiene. Entonces, forget about it. You guys are a lot of
And Jeff,
Yeah.
I'm also emailing them info on what I'm calling. They used to call them waste plants, but I'm calling them NWPs now, not waste plants, for all the biomass.
Oh, got it.
That's left over, and so not waste plants.
One advantage of this method, since we don't use solvents, is you have more fiber and you have better material for doing composites. So as a hobby, I like to make bicycles and surfboards and stuff, and you can make really cool with the material, but you have to be very careful with how you treat it.
Yeah. So one question is, some of these countries are asking for some regulations. Some of these countries are asking for EU GMP, or some of them are asking for some type of a case study or clinical study results of patients taking. I know we talked about that, Lance. So want to just mention something that you guys have something planned coming up for that?
Well, I mean, there is something that we're working on, and there also is other clinical trial data like that's published, but we're working actually with another publicly traded company we're involved in a human trial actually, and Lance can tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, there's 2,000 patients nationwide, and it's like a mini FDA study through this public company, Juva Life, and that'll be kicking off here in a couple of weeks. And that's basically once people have reached the limit with prescription drugs, and the doctors, there's nothing else that's helping them. Now they can turn to CBD and THC, and so these physicians will be actually administering CBD and different products.
Yeah.
Our soft gels will be one of the products in that study. So, but back to what you were saying, right now we are GMP through our manufacturers, but we can use a manufacturer for EU GMP if a client needs that. So.
Great. Perfect. So yeah, that would be key to have anything that we can utilize where we can show that differentiating unique selling factor as salespeople, in terms of, supporting it and anything related to that.
Well, and just so you know, Jeff, like my whole network, I've been talking to them about San Benito. So now that we're turning that on, we have a whole plan to start getting that direct to people, say like Ryan Hale, who, there's a ton of vet organizations I work with and stuff, so that like we just have direct mailing and they're reporting back to us with their doctors what they're doing too. So cool. This should go quick.
Okay.
Jeff, if you can give me stuff that you need for marketing materials, Matt can help coordinate putting that together, what you need.
Form up some kind of a list, and then I'll knock out that list real quick.
Cool.
Love it.
There's another thing that we're looking at, and so a lot of these countries like Australia that we've already sent some product for approval. Peru's another country, obviously, that utilize the model of prescription. Doctor must prescribe to the patient. As a matter of fact, Australia, if you get one prescription, it's only for one use. If you want to renew, you got to go get a second prescription. So it's not like the U.S. that you get one prescription, you're good to go all year. This is, and so to do that, they're regulating it in Peru as well. We've partnered up and we're putting a deal together with an app called, it's a tracking app. And the tracking app, Ultraca, is basically just that. It tracks exact amount usage between the patient, the doctor, and we want to introduce it to the governments. The reason why we want to work with the governments is because we want to show them, hey, look, this is how we're going to control exactly what implementations and what you guys, regulations that you've instilled in Australia and in Peru. So feel more comfortable that there's going to be this platform where the doctor, the patient, the provider, all of them can, the pharmacy can all be in sync. And we're looking to potentially integrate, with certain products already in terms of, San Benito would be one where we would like to roll it out with, so that when we roll out the app in the first 6 months and we launch the app, it's launched with, integrated products ready to go.
It's like buying a laptop and having Windows already pre-installed.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. Got it.
So in terms of that, of technology, who do we work with at your facility that's involved with anything that's technology based? Madman. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds great.
Billy can handle all that. So
Cool. All right. So then I think that helps a lot.
sounds good.
So I don't know. Anybody else have any more questions?
Oh, fine.
We're good?
That's
Awesome.
great.
No, I think we're all excited to pump this out and
Oh, wait.
follow up this with documentation.
I have
So-
a question, Jeff. Do we have to wait a month to talk every time?
No, we could talk more often.
Absolutely.
Cool. You talking to me, Nate, or
Wait.
them?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
I'll be back. I'm waiting for my vaccine. I keep checking my app called My Turn.
I got it.
Oh, you did? Yesterday I checked. I said, myturn.gov. They said, fuck no.
That's because the U.S. is a bully. They take them all for themselves and leave the scraps to the rest of the world.
I mean, all good.
I got vaccinated yesterday. I almost stopped by, but I ran out of time. I had to go to Salinas, so I cruised right past you.
Anytime. You're welcome to stop by, guys. Anytime.
Yes, I know. I just ended up, you think you have an appointment. That just means that you're part of a giant herd of folks, so.
Big line of people, yeah.
Yeah, but it was all good.
Hey,
I have shot number 1 under my belt or on my shoulder.
All right.
One thing I wanted to bring in here, one of my colleagues and partners here is on mute. His name is Dale. He's on an iPhone. So we're launching the Roach. Roach is a high THC product. It's the complete opposite of what we're talking about here. It was just done for recreational purposes. But now we're looking into utilizing that same device and other devices for more medicinal purposes. So there would be an interest of discussing, Dale, of having the Roach with this, with the Absolute San Benito oil for the true medicinal purpose.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm on, Jeff. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I unmuted myself. So hi there.
Cool.
Hey, Nate.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
So,
good
yeah,
man.
we'll talk about that. So Dale is, he got the global licensing with Harry and our Americana Trader for the Roach, which is the smallest disposable vaporizer in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And we have 4 more products coming out in the next month.
Yeah. So one of those key things that I told you that the San Benito oil and the Absolute just burns and vaporizes beautifully. So actually yesterday we had a meeting regarding potentially bringing a vaporizer device. Australia only has 1 approved medicinal vaporizer. Only 1 approved in the whole country. All the other vaporizers are, no, we don't use this for cannabis, and they're sold wherever in the market. So we're looking to bring in the only other second approved device vaporizer into Australia, and it would be filled with San Benito, the oil, because that's what they're looking for in the medicinal place. And so that's what we had a call with Dale, because Dale and Harry and Art, they invented the Roach, and they're very much involved in manufacturing of vaporizers and all that. So
You have a little history with the Roach too, don't you, Billy?
Yeah, my Art. Well, I know Art when he first got into the business. So
got it.
Yeah.
he knows me. You can ask him about me if you want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, awesome, guys. I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Then nobody has any other questions. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigado.
Very
Gracias.
end.
Everyone have a happy Easter. Happy Good Friday.
Good Friday. Peace.
Thank
Thanks.
Love.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the time with the families, everyone.
All right,
Nate,
guys.
we'll coordinate.
Thank you.
God
Thank you guys
bless.
for your
Thank
time.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye bye.